see.
Good evening, ghosts and ghouls. It's the one, the only JT Ripper, and I'm here with
Todd of Thunder.
And you're tuning in to another horrible conversation where we're going to talk about some horror topics of the week.
Yes, indeed. I got some releases coming to theaters, some releases coming to DVD and Blu-ray for all the collectors out there, and a couple movies coming to some streaming services, as well as a few other topics that we're going to discuss today.
All right. You want to start us off hot?
Well, I don't know if it's hot, but you know me, I kind of saved the best for last. But let's see here. The movie Pearl, which is the prequel to the movie X, which both of those movies came out earlier this year.
Which is crazy, you know, one movie and then a sequel comes out.
Yeah, that's pretty
year.
rare. But anyway, that's coming to DVD and Blu-ray November 15th for anybody who wants to pick that up.
Sad to say, I still haven't watched either one of those yet.
Nope.
And I've heard great things about them.
Yeah, definitely we have to check those out. Another movie that was just in theaters is coming to DVD and Blu-ray December 13th, which is Smile.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's fairly recent.
Yeah, that's crazy. I swear to God, it was just in theaters a couple weeks ago. Still haven't got to see that one. I saw some stuff from it here recently, and wow, I can't wait to see that movie.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard mixed reviews on it, but most of the time when I hear negative reviews on a movie, I'll probably like it.
Yeah.
That just seems to be the pattern.
Yeah.
And finally, for those who want to complete their Halloween collection, Halloween Ends December 27th, coming to DVD and Blu-ray, even though it's on Peacock, for those who, like I said, like to collect these films and have a physical copy. December 27th is your day, so 2 days after Christmas.
All right. It should have been before Christmas, but, you know.
Well,
beggars can't be choosers.
Let's see here. The movie Nope by Jordan Peele, his last movie. That's coming to Peacock November 18th. Haven't seen that, so...
I haven't, but I've seen spoiler videos, and I'm going to watch it and judge it.
Yeah, and, you know, we'll probably get a review of that movie.
Yeah, we'll do a little review.
And let's see here. Coming to Netflix November 16th, it's a movie called The Wonder. And
The Wonder?
The Wonder. And it caught my eye. I'll read to you what it was about. It follows a nurse as she's brought to a small village in an Irish Midlands to investigate a young girl who claims to have stopped eating after her 11th birthday. The thing about it is her 11th birthday was 4 months ago. So I guess it's one of those films where this nurse is coming there to kind of investigate this phenomena that's going on, like what the deal is with that.
Okay.
But it sounded pretty interesting, and the cover to it. But, you know, again, I think this is a Netflix movie, so take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of those are really good. Some of them are dog shit.
Yeah,
so
really, really off.
And coming to theaters November 18th, there is a movie called The Menu. The Menu.
I think I heard about this.
Yeah, it's about a young couple. They travel to a remote island to eat at this exclusive restaurant where the chef has prepared a lavish menu with some shocking surprises. That's kind of the synthesis to this movie. I'm sure it's one of those...
You got one of those hard peppercorns.
Yeah. One of those nasty type of films where they're either going to be eating something really nasty or... Possibly people or something like that.
It's people.
Hey, bring
Meat's
all the
meat.
Yeah, bring all the cannibal movies you can find. That's great. But that's all for my upcoming releases on home video streaming services and theatrical releases that I care to mention this week.
Yeah, a little update on the, I don't know if they're going to call it Friday the 13th or Camp Crystal Lake series, but the director first teased about Jason actually being in it, like adult Jason, and he said, you might see Jason, you might not, and then he confirmed, I think, this week that Jason will be a part of the series. It's just, it's not going to be like a complete, all about Mrs. Voorhees. He said it's going to be like a little bit of a prequel into an actual, like,
what we know Friday the 13th as.
Yeah. It will be a high body count. You will get the Jason you want. It's kind of, apparently it's easier and less legal trouble to put a show together than it is to do a movie. If you do a movie, you have more legal hoops you have to jump through, and there's still like a lot of things that they can and can't do. Right. But with the TV show, they can get away with more stuff, so that's why they're going with the TV show. So it's going to be a little bit of a prequel backstory, and then it's going to go into the Jason that we all know and love.
Well, that certainly makes sense. I mean, if you make a movie and it's successful, everybody kind of wants a piece of the pie because they claim that they had something to do with it. Well, I created this character.
I think what it is that doing the show, like, they have more freedom in doing it, and then when you make a movie, the other people actually get involved because of, like, it's a movie. So that, I thought that was kind of cool. So we will be getting Jason at some point. So just stick with it. Yeah,
and the closer we get to it, the more and more information to come out. We'll certainly be talking about that in the future. And
I wonder who they're going to get to play Jason. Like, are we going to get, like, Kane Hodder maybe? Or,
I don't know, man. These new movie people certainly like to put their own newer people in positions. Yeah. But then again, Brad Dourif did come back and play Chucky in the Chucky series.
Yeah, which I really want to see season 2, but it's not on any streaming services yet.
Well, Stephen Lang, the star of Don't Breathe and Don't Breathe 2, The Blind Man.
Yeah.
He recently had an interview with one of these little horror websites, and he says that a third entry to this franchise is on the way. There's no official announcement yet from any of the writers, producers, directors, or studio or anything like that, but he's a big part of it, so if he says a third entry is on its way, I tend to believe him. So
yeah, but I don't like what they did with the second one.
Well,
I mean, you turn this creepy guy into like a hero type guy.
Yeah, but at the same time, there was nobody to cheer for in the first one anyway.
Right.
I mean, those people that broke into his house were just as shitbags as he was.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I agree, but,
But I get what you're saying. Turning him into, like, a full-blown hero type of deal.
It's just weird.
It is kind of weird.
Like, but, I mean, you literally kidnapped a girl and, like, impregnated her out of revenge.
And they barely mentioned that in the second one. Like
Oh yeah, that girl he kidnapped and fucked, and out of revenge. Forget about that. That's the past. It was yesterday, Jeff. It was yesterday.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, but anyway, you told me about this, and I did a little bit of research last night about the Welcome to Derry HBO series that's supposed to be coming out. It's going to be a prequel to the It films.
Yeah.
And what I read about it, the show reportedly is going to take place in the 1960s, and it's going to explore the backstory of Pennywise and the curse that he seems to have put on the town of Derry. That's kind of like just a little short description of it. I'm sure there's a lot more to it, but yeah, again, Pennywise getting the series treatment.
Yeah, kind of going back to basic. I think I did read that Bill Skarsgård was going to be a part of this too, somewhere.
Well, I certainly hope so. He did do a really good Pennywise. I really liked his Pennywise.
Speaking of Bill Skarsgård, he's actually the villain in the new John Wick 4 movie.
Well,
I don't know if you... I saw the trailer the other day, and it kind of surprised me.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, I mean...
Good for him, man.
Great actor.
Just
piggybacking off of that.
Yeah, I mean, he's already played in one of our favorite horror movies this year, Barbarian.
Oh, yeah.
So...
God, such a good movie.
any success that he can get, I certainly, am cheering for him because, like you said, we really do like him as an actor. But
You think he's a better Pennywise?
do I think he's a better Pennywise than Tim Curry?
Yes.
No. And that's not because he's bad. It's just because Tim Curry is so great. It's kind of like asking me, who's the best Batman, Christian Bale or
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. And I'm automatically going to tell you Michael Keaton.
Fair.
But, just to piggyback off of what we just said, we just talked about the Friday the 13th getting a series treatment, the
Chucky
getting a series treatment, now Pennywise, Welcome to Derry is going to be coming to HBO. It made me think about, all these other horror shows that have come out and had pretty decent success with series. One that I think about is the Hannibal series.
Yeah.
Of course, The Walking Dead was a huge hit for AMC.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, we had shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
X-Files.
Well, we had Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps, and then when, got a little bit older to appreciate shows like the X-Files and Tales from the Crypt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it seems like horror series have always been kind of a, decent, successful journey to horror.
Yeah. I mean, everything's, leaning, like, horror is kind of making a comeback this year. I mean, rightfully so.
Well, definitely 2022 had some banger of movies.
Yeah.
They might have not all been good, but hey, give me as many as I can watch, and, if you give me 20 movies this year, and 10 of them are good, that's still good,
Right.
We're the kind of people that we will watch it. Even if we hear bad things about it, we judge it on our own. And if it's bad, we have something to talk about.
Right. I don't know if you know this, but I thought it was kind of funny. I saw this on TikTok. That Terrifier 2 has a 88% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And you know what? I usually don't give a fuck about Rotten Tomatoes or any critics whatsoever. And half of me thinks that the only reason it's got an 88% is because the people at Rotten Tomatoes don't want to look like assholes and go against the public.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because Titanic has an 87%.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's rated better than Titanic, Forrest Gump, Dancing with Wolves.
Well, listen, we love horror movies. But Terrifier 2 is not better than those fucking movies you just mentioned.
No, not at all. It's not even comparable.
No, that's what leads me to think that they gave it a favorable review, because if they don't, they would have a lot of people calling them out on it.
Yeah.
And that's called pandering. So fuck you, Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, rotten bastards.
Yeah. Anyway, that's about it for this week's horrible conversation.
Yeah, well, it's just kind of brief and to the point. And we were talking about the Resident Evil series, and it was actually the video game I couldn't think of is Resident Evil Outbreak for the PlayStation 2. It's Resident Evil Outbreak and Outbreak 2. Never play them because they're dog shit, they're trash, and they're a waste of your time.
Yeah, that's the one where you pause the game and it actually keeps going, so the pause is worthless.
Worthless, yeah.
So,
but on that note, I'm JT Ripper.
And I'm Todd of Thunder. Toodaloo.
And eat shit.